Key Stage 4 students, and welcome to your Humanities task for the week. This week, I'm sure you're all aware, the theme to all of your work that's been coming out to you is around animal rights and animal welfare. So what we're looking at, a little bit of history for you, we're looking at how animals were used during the Great War. You've already done a few bits of research. You've used some secondary sources that was gathered, that's information that was gathered by other people and provided to you. And you've also gathered your own primary information, your primary research, which is where you yourself go out and find it. So hopefully you've done both of those first two tasks already, and you're ready to get on with answering your final question, completing the challenge at the bottom of your sheet. So, using the primary and secondary evidence you now have, write an answer to the following question. Do you think animals were heroes or victims during the war? Planning your answer. So, whenever you're doing a piece of writing that's an extended piece of writing, so something more than just a couple of sentences, you should always try and have a quick plan of what your answer is going to include. It will save you having to just cross things out and scribble over things and put arrows all over the place if you've just had a bit of a think first. So, your first little task is to go through that table that you completed in the last task, and I want you to pick out what you think is the most powerful argument that you can find that make animals look like the hero, and I want you to pick out the most powerful argument that animals were victims. Once you've got your two key points picked out, we need to have a go at evidencing those two claims. So, all of history could be completely made up for all we know, so we rely on historians to evidence the things that they're telling us. Otherwise, how do we know who we're supposed to believe? So that's what we're going to ask you guys to do, because you are historians today while you're doing this piece of work. So, look at your key point, then go back through the research that you've done and pick out something that will evidence your claim. For example, if I wanted to say, I believe that animals were victims, I then need to say, because research shows that over 100,000 horses died on the front during the Great War. That's quite clear evidence that lots and lots of animals died, okay? I then need to explain, I've made my point, I've evidenced my point, now I need to explain its relevance to my argument. So, I believe that animals were victims because over 100,000 horses died on the front during the Great War. This shows that animals were victims because they don't have the intelligence to understand the war and the morality of the war, but they were sent anyway, and they were sent straight to their deaths. This isn't fair, and it inflicts pain and suffering. Okay? So I've made a point, I've evidenced my point, and then I've explained it as well. So you need to do those three steps: make a point, evidence your point, explain your point for both of your arguments. Your one that shows that animals are heroes, and your one that shows that animals are victims. Writing your conclusion. So all of you, probably from the second that you read the question, had an idea in your head of which side of the debate you fall onto. You will have decided in your head whether you think animals were heroes of the war or whether you think animals were victims of the war. And your conclusion is the part where you get to write about your personal belief and your personal feelings. If you can still draw in off all of those other sources of information that you've managed to find, whether they be from the internet or maybe books or maybe from talking to other people, the more of those sources of information you use to back up your opinion, the better. Your final sentence of your conclusion should really concisely sum up your view, and it can be as simple as just saying, for these reasons, I think animals were victims. I'm sure you can make it sound an awful lot better than that and be a bit more creative with it, but in your last sentence, you want to make sure you've left no doubt whatsoever in the mind of the person reading it what your view is. So, well done guys, you've made it to the end. And hopefully you have written a fantastic piece of writing, and I can't wait to read a few of them. This is a bit of a controversial issue. People believe both sides of the argument really strongly on this one, so I hope it's got you thinking, and I hope just concentrating on a little bit of work for a little while has woken your brain up a little bit, because if you're feeling anything like me right now, you've spent far too long sitting in the house and you've spent far too long watching rubbish on the television. I'm so desperate, I've been watching South Park today. I feel like a teenager. You guys are rubbing off on me, I think. So there you have it guys, that's your humanities work for this week. But the most important thing for all of you right now is to make sure that you're staying safe, you're looking after yourself, and you're looking after your friends and family as well. So please do reach out to each other, look after each other, and if there are any issues at all with this work, I'll pop the email address at the bottom of the screen. If you want to send us anything, if you've written yours up on a laptop and you want to send it back to us, you can send it through the email address. Or if you've got any questions, if you get stuck and you need to get in touch with us, please do. So keep safe guys, and I hope you're enjoying your day. The sunshine is gorgeous, so I hope you're all out there enjoying it.